We live in a world that often pushes us towards simplicity. In our fast-paced lives, we crave quick fixes and straightforward answers. The allure of black and white thinking is strong because it offers a sense of clarity and control. It's like a mental shortcut that helps us navigate the complexities of daily life without getting bogged down in the details. We want easy answers, simple solutions. This desire for simplicity can be seen in many aspects of our lives, from the way we approach problems at work to how we interact with others. We often categorize people and situations into neat little boxes, labeling them as either good or bad, right or wrong. This binary thinking can make us feel more secure, but it also limits our understanding of the world. It's comfy to label things as right or wrong, good or bad. This kind of thinking simplifies our decision-making process and gives us a sense of certainty. However, it also creates a rigid mindset that can be difficult to break free from. When we see the world in black and white, we miss out on the nuances and complexities that make life rich and interesting. This black and white thinking is stuck in our heads. It's ingrained in us from a young age, reinforced by societal norms and cultural narratives. We are taught to see things in terms of opposites, to choose sides and to avoid the grey areas. But life is rarely that simple. The more we cling to black and white thinking, the more we limit our potential for growth and understanding. It makes us feel sure of ourselves in a world that can be messy and unpredictable. This sense of certainty can be comforting, but it can also be misleading. The world is full of contradictions and complexities that cannot be easily categorized. By embracing the grey areas, we open ourselves up to new perspectives and possibilities. But wanting things to be simple can have a downside. It can lead to oversimplification and a lack of critical thinking. When we rely too heavily on black and white thinking, we risk missing out on the richness of human experience. We become less empathetic and more judgmental, unable to see the world from different viewpoints. When we stick too closely to black and white thinking, we miss out on how interesting and deep human experience really is. The grey areas are where true understanding and empathy reside. They are the spaces where we can explore different perspectives and find common ground. By embracing complexity, we can develop a more nuanced and compassionate view of the world. Life is rarely about extremes. It's about the subtle differences and the shades of grey that make it so fascinating. The beauty of life lies in its diversity and complexity. By moving away from black and white thinking, we can appreciate the full spectrum of human experience. True understanding lives in the grey areas, the spaces between the extremes. These are the places where we can find balance and harmony. By embracing the grey, we can develop a deeper and more meaningful connection with ourselves and others. This video explores the problems with black and white thinking and encourages a shift towards complexity. It's an invitation to step outside of strict categories and explore the beauty of the grey. By doing so, we can become more open-minded and understanding individuals. It's an invitation to step outside of strict categories and explore the beauty of the grey. It's about seeing that life is a mix of subtle differences, contradictions, and endless possibilities. By embracing the grey, we can develop a more nuanced and compassionate view of the world. It's about seeing that life is a mix of subtle differences, contradictions, and endless possibilities. By welcoming the grey, we open ourselves to a world of greater understanding, empathy, and wisdom. We become kinder people, better able to handle the complicated parts of our world. By welcoming the grey, we open ourselves to a world of greater understanding, empathy, and wisdom. We become kinder people, better able to handle the complicated parts of our world. This shift in perspective can lead to more meaningful relationships and a deeper sense of fulfillment. We become kinder people, better able to handle the complicated parts of our world. By embracing the grey, we can navigate the complexities of life with greater ease and understanding. This journey towards complexity is not always easy, but it is ultimately rewarding. It allows us to see the world in all its richness and diversity, and to appreciate the beauty of the human experience. Black and white thinking is a way of seeing the world in extremes. It's a cognitive distortion where things are perceived in a binary manner, leaving no room for middle ground or nuance. This type of thinking can be seen in various aspects of life, from personal relationships to professional decisions. It's the habit of sorting things as either or, right or wrong, good or bad, with no room for shades of grey or uncertainty. This rigid way of thinking can simplify complex situations, making them easier to understand at a glance. However, it also strips away the richness and depth that come with more nuanced perspectives. While this kind of thinking can be useful for simplifying information and making quick choices, it often leads to oversimplification. In a fast-paced business environment, for instance, quick decisions are sometimes necessary. But relying too heavily on black and white thinking can result in missed opportunities and poor judgment. It can also make us inflexible and stop us from seeing the whole picture. When faced with a challenging decision, the inability to consider multiple perspectives can lead to stress and anxiety. This rigidity can prevent us from adapting to new information or changing circumstances. When we think in black and white, we often miss important details and forget to think about other points of view. This can be particularly damaging in group settings where diverse opinions and collaborative thinking are crucial. Ignoring these nuances can lead to conflict and a lack of innovation. This can cause misunderstandings, arguments, and missed chances to grow and connect. Relationships suffer when we fail to appreciate the complexity of others' experiences and viewpoints. Misunderstandings become more frequent, and the potential for meaningful connections diminishes. It can stop us from fully experiencing the world and appreciating its complexities. The world is a tapestry of diverse cultures, ideas, and experiences. By clinging to black and white thinking, we limit our ability to engage with this diversity and miss out on the richness it offers. Breaking free from black and white thinking is important for growing as people and as a society. Embracing complexity allows us to develop empathy, understanding, and a more comprehensive view of the world. It encourages personal growth and fosters a more inclusive and harmonious society. It lets us approach problems with more flexibility, creativity, and understanding. When we move beyond binary thinking, we open ourselves up to innovative solutions and new ways of thinking. This flexibility is essential for tackling the complex challenges we face in today's world. By welcoming the grey areas, we can build stronger relationships, make smarter choices, and live more fulfilling lives. Embracing the full spectrum of possibilities allows us to connect more deeply with others, make well-rounded decisions, and experience life in all its richness and diversity. Politics, maybe more than anything else, often becomes a fight between black and white thinking, creating a stark divide. We divide ourselves into opposite teams, sticking to rigid beliefs and thinking badly of those who see things differently from us. This stops us from having helpful conversations and finding common ground, making progress difficult. The complicated nature of political issues often gets lost in the us versus them stories we tell ourselves. We simplify complex policy debates into short slogans and don't acknowledge the valid points of those on the other side of the argument. This kind of thinking only makes divisions worse and stops progress from happening. Welcoming the grey in politics means recognizing that most issues are complicated and don't fit neatly into boxes or categories. It means listening to different viewpoints with an open mind and having respectful conversations, even when we strongly disagree. By embracing complexity, we can create a more productive and collaborative political landscape for everyone. Black and white thinking can also cause problems in our personal relationships. When we see things in extremes, we often miss the nuances that make relationships rich and fulfilling. This kind of thinking can lead to unrealistic expectations and unnecessary disappointments. We might put our loved ones on a pedestal, expecting them to be perfect and feeling really let down when they inevitably aren't. This can create a cycle of constant disappointment and frustration, as no one can live up to such high standards all the time. It's important to remember that everyone has flaws and that these imperfections are what make us human. Or we might completely dismiss people because of one mistake or disagreement, forgetting their value and ability to grow. This kind of all-or-nothing thinking can lead to the loss of meaningful relationships and the opportunity for personal growth. It's crucial to recognize that one mistake doesn't define a person and that everyone deserves a chance to learn and improve. Relationships thrive in the grey areas where imperfections are okay and growth is encouraged. It's in these spaces that we find true connection and understanding. By accepting that no one is perfect, we allow ourselves and others the freedom to be authentic and vulnerable. It's about understanding that everyone makes mistakes, and forgiveness and empathy are key to healthy relationships. When we approach our relationships with compassion and a willingness to forgive, we create a supportive environment where everyone can thrive. This doesn't mean ignoring harmful behavior, but rather addressing it with kindness and a desire to heal. Embracing the grey in relationships means letting go of the need to always be right and being willing to see things from the other person's point of view. This requires active listening and a genuine interest in understanding the other person's perspective. By doing so, we can build stronger, more resilient connections. It's about saying what we need and where our boundaries are clearly and kindly, while also being open to the needs and boundaries of others. Clear communication is essential in any relationship, and setting boundaries helps to ensure that both parties feel respected and valued. This mutual respect fosters a healthy and balanced dynamic. By accepting the messiness of human connection, we create space for deeper intimacy and understanding. It's in these imperfect moments that we find true closeness and the opportunity to grow together. Embracing the grey means celebrating the journey of growth and connection rather than striving for an unattainable ideal of perfection.